Dwight Howard has decided to sign with the Atlanta Hawks for 3 years and $70 million. This is an interesting move for the Hawks because they have Al Horford and he's also a free agent. So by picking up Dwight, he's basically gonna replace Al Horford. But is he really an upgrade? And this is where it gets interesting because if you compare their stats, Al Horford and Dwight Howard, they're almost the same player. And depending on who you talk to, some people will say that Al Horford is actually better than Dwight Howard. So let's take a look at their stats for last season. Al Horford averaged 15 points a game, and Dwight Howard averaged 13 points a game. Al Horford grabbed 7 rebounds a game to Dwight's 11. So that's a pretty big improvement for Dwight Howard. Blocks are about the same, 1.5 for Al Horford to 1.6 for Dwight Howard. Now, even though the stats say that Dwight Howard is a better rebounder, he's not really that much better. The main reason why the numbers are so far apart is because whenever they added Paul Millsap takes a lot of rebounds from Al Horford's stats. Before Paul Millsap joined the Hawks, he was averaging 9 rebounds a game, almost 10, 9.2, 9.9 one season, 9.7 another season. But then as soon as Paul Millsap entered the picture, he started averaging 8 and 7, and he's been hovering around there. So in this rebounding debate, really Al Horford's going to be closer to 10. It would really be around 9. So the rebounding difference wouldn't really be that big of an advantage for Dwight Howard. And another stat that's interesting is the PER rating, the PER rating. And for those of you that don't know what that is, that stands for player efficiency rating. They add up all your positives and all your negatives, and then they get this number, and that's how you can determine the efficiency level between two different players. And Al Horford, his PER rating is 19.4, and Dwight Howard's PER rating is 18.9. So they're basically neck and neck as the kind of effectiveness that they have. We know that Al Horford is a better shooter. He can space the floor, he can shoot mid-range, he can also shoot threes, and he can also shoot free throws. Dwight Howard has no mid-range game. He's a terrible free throw shooter. So at the end of games, teams run the hack of Dwight. There's all kind of things that when you have Dwight on your team, you have to worry about, but Al Horford, you do not. And that's what makes this pickup and this signing so interesting, is because they already had a good center. And even though Dwight Howard is a bigger name and the stats don't always say everything, there are some things that Dwight does on the court that you can't really record with stats, and that's defensively. He's not as good defensively as he was in his Orlando years when he was in his prime, but he's still a terrific defender. But how much better is he really going to be? Is he really going to change this Hawks team dramatically? I don't know if he will. And I don't even know if his impact will be considered an upgrade as the season goes on. I can't wait to see what team goes after Horford, because that is a very good pickup. If you could pick up Horford and put him on your team, that's nice. So let me know what you think of this signing for the Hawks. What grade do you give them? Leave it in the comments section. We also have big news, the biggest contract in NBA history so far. Mike Conley signs for $153 million, 5 years, max contract. Wow. Mike Conley is a solid player, but 153 million type solid? The largest contract in NBA history solid? He's not even an all-star player. What we've learned today is that basketball is the sport you want to play. This is a public service announcement. If you're in middle school or high school right now and you're athletic and you're playing football, you need to change to basketball. You have time to change. You can start changing this summer. Start going to the gym, working on your jump shot, working on your basketball game, because you're going to make more money. You don't even have to be a top player in the league. You could even come off the bench like Dellavedova and get 40 mil. If you're a starter, you can get over 100 mil. You could get 120 like Bradley Beal. You could get 150 like Conley, 130 like DeRozan. You don't have to worry about concussions. Your money is guaranteed. I know in high school it's cool to be on a football team. It really is. But after high school, nobody's going to care. Years old, and a lot of these players that are getting max deals, they're coming off their rookie deal. Usually this is when they get paid, and then if they develop further, they continue to get paid until they retire. everybody has to remember that the salary cap went up this year. So that's why a lot of people are getting so much money. This happens every year. I remember when Gordon Hayward got max money and people were like,